In today's video, we are going to do a review, and that review today is going to be on a Multipick product. Before we get into that review, I just want to say I'm not sponsored by Multipick or any other manufacturer for that matter. Some manufacturers do send me products sometimes to have a look at and feature if I feel like featuring it, and doing a review if I feel like doing a review. That review is not guaranteed to be favourable or otherwise. I just try to independently look at the products, describe them so that you can make an informed decision if it's for you. Anyway, that said, let's get into this review. This is the 29p Sandman Advanced Lockpick Set US EU edition, which, as with a lot of Multipick products, is quite a mouthful. Now, if you don't know who Sandman is, he's been active in the locksport community for many, many years. I think he used to be a locksmith as well. And has more recently created a very successful YouTube channel where he features a lot of products. I'll leave a link to his channel down below so you can check that out if you haven't already. I think he's on a one-man mission to collect every lockpick ever made, and I think he's pretty close to getting there. He's got an extensive collection and does a lot of comparison videos, which are really, really useful when you're considering which set to buy. But what that means is that he's got a reasonably good knowledge of what makes a good set and what doesn't make a good set. So he's worked in collaboration with Multipick to create, I think it's 4 different sets. So you've got a starter set, a beginner set, an intermediate set, and an advanced set. And this is the advanced set, and that's what we're going to have a look at today. So first of all, let's have a look at the case now. As with most Multipick lockpick sets, I think all of them actually, it comes in a really nice leather case with this sort of stamped in logo. Now, I've got to say that other Multipick sets that I've looked at previously used this really good quality leather, which is really quite shiny, gloss finish. They've sent me a couple of products just recently, and they came in this matte finish. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a compromise on quality. Feels like a really good leather, but you've just got that difference in, you know, a sort of matte finish or a gloss finish. I think I actually prefer these new matte ones anyway. So what we're going to do is we'll have a look at the case first. It's the standard Multipick case that comes with a lot of their products. You get this flap on top. There isn't any smell-o-vision with YouTube, but this thing smells really nice. It's a fresh leather. It's a smell that I like, and it makes for a really good quality case. You've got all this stitching for the individual picks. In this set, we've got a lot of sort of unused slots, but that means that you can expand this set as you go on. So it's Velcro closed, and it all closes up really nicely, and you've got this flap at the top which stops the picks sliding out. Of course, if that wasn't there, then the picks could sort of slide out when it's folded. And what I like to do with their sets is kind of fold that top over and then have it on my bench like this to get access to all the picks. So what we'll do now is we'll look at the tensioners that you get in this set, then we'll take a look at the picks that you get in this set. In the set, we get 6 different tensioners, and each tensioner is double-ended, so you effectively get 12 options for tension with this set. You've got 2 different shapes, and each of those different shapes are into 3 different thicknesses. I'll just lift this one up as an example. That one is a 0.8. Everything with Multipick is marked on the tools, which is something that I do really like. That's a 1mm. And that is a 1.3mm. And as well as the logo, it tells you the name of that individual tensioner. So that's an SP25, that's an SP29. So if you did need to get replacements, you know exactly which ones to order. That's true of this set as well, and I think they also come in the same 3 sizes. If I can get myself organised. So we've got, 0.8, and got that one the wrong way around. That's a 1mm and a 1.3. So yeah, you've got the different sizes there, and I'll just demonstrate what these tensioners can be used for, because I think there's not many tensioners in the set, but I think what you've got is pretty universal, and you can use those to tension a variety of locks. So I have a look at a master lock here, which is a padlock that a lot of people would use. So our options for tensioning this are top of the keyway or bottom of the keyway. Now these wrenches here, if I get a thicker one, I think that'll be the one. Does it fit in there? It's quite tight. I'm going to use the next size down. So we can use that as a topper keyway, tension like that, and if we are tensioning from the top, we've got the whole of the bottom of the keyway free. But you've also got the option, I think you can use it that way around as well. Yeah, we got that way around as well, which is like a little bit more comfortable to hold your finger that way around. We've still got the bottom of the keyway. The wrench does tend to fall. Not a fault with the tool, I'm probably not using it as it's supposed to be used, but it's just another option. And then of course you've got this longer return, and that can be used for bottom of the keyway tensioning. There you go, that fits there, and we can get a hook in there and get that one picked. So let's look at these ones here. Go for the medium size one again. So these are more usually used for top of the keyway tension, but they do have another use, which I'll show you in just a minute. So you'd use it like that, fairly comfortable to pick in hand, and we've got the whole of the bottom of the keyway free. Let's look at tensioning a Euro lock, something like this Isao. And I think once again, will that one fit in there? Yeah, that's quite comfortable actually for picking these in hand. What I tend to do is use a little 3D printed holder like that, just to make the Euro a little bit more comfortable. And you've got a nice comfortable picking position, and of course access to the keyway that way. But once again, we can use bottom of the keyway, and let's find one that's going to fit. Yeah, there we go. Or we can use top of the keyway just like that. So these tensioners are pretty universal, but I wanted to show you that these can also be used. This long return can be used for recessed keyways. As you can see, the top of that keyway there is pretty flush with the body. But some locks, that one isn't particularly recessed, but you can see it's a little bit more recessed. So you've got that deeper end to get into those recessed keyways if you need them. Dog's just chiming in there. But it also can be used for tensioning dimple locks, which is how I use these quite often. Something like that, and then you can reach in and yeah, get it picked. So it's nice to have the option to tension dimple locks as well. We'll move on to the picks now, and I'll show you what picks we get in the set. What we've got with the picks is a dual gauge set. So we've got 9 profiles, and we've got them in 2 different thicknesses, which is a nice touch. So we've got the 0.4 set, which is 0.4 millimeters, which is 15 thousandths of an inch, and we've got those same profiles in 0.6 millimeters, which is 23 thousandths of an inch. Now we'll just do a close-up so you can see all the hooks that come in this set. And as you can see there, we've got a really good selection of different hook shapes, which is important when you're tackling different locks. So we have got short hooks, we've got medium reach hooks, we've got higher, deeper reach hooks, we've got rounded tips, we've got flat tips, and we've got pointed tips. And having all of those different profiles should give you the right tools to tackle a variety of different locks. So if we can have a look at the picks themselves. As with all Multipick picks, they come etched with a Multipick logo. You've got this logo up there, which is the owner, I think, or the founder of Multipick. The steel runs from the tip to the tail, and then it's got that sandwiched lollipop or popsicle handle, depending on which side of the Atlantic you come from. And then each of the picks also comes with this information down the bottom. So this particular profile, that one just there, is the V57, and then we've got the individual serial number of that individual pick, which is a really nice touch. I like that from Multipick products. And then at the bottom we have got the year of manufacturer, which is 2024. This one being a 0.4 has got a 0.4 etched on the side of it, on the other side of it there. And if we compare the same profile in the thicker size, you've got the same information, except the 0.6 do actually say 0.6 on it. I don't know why the 0.4s don't say 0.4 on it. And then you've got, instead of the thickness, you've got this kind of jazzy 80s design going on the back. So I just want to do a quick comparison between the 2 different thicknesses. So what I've got here is the 57, which has got the V57 here, which is the thinner one, and then the PN57, which is the slightly thicker one. Now, although the profile at the end is exactly the same, the shaft of these picks is slightly different. So here on the left, you've got the thinner gauge, and here on the right, you've got the thicker gauge. And you can see that the thicker gauge pick has a slightly thinner shaft, and the thinner one has got a slightly thicker shaft. And that's just a nice attention to detail. I think Multipick could have just taken that shape and just made it in the thinner steel. But of course, being thinner, it's going to be slightly weaker. So what they've done is they've just made it thicker towards the handle to give it a bit more integrity. It's a nice attention to detail that is quite common with a lot of Multipick products. In this set we get 5 different rake profiles. Each of those rake profiles, as we can see on the bottom of the pick, is 0.6 millimeters, which is 23 thousandths. So that's nice and thick for the abuse that we can often put rakes through. If I scoop these up, I'll just quickly show you the profiles that come in it. So we've got the classic 3-peak Bogota. A very popular rake profile, and it's popular because of the success that it gets. So good to see it included in the set. And then these 4 here are the wave rake designs by Christina Palmer, which have quite often in recent years become really popular in a lot of sets. And again, they're popular because they get results. So we've got the 2 quad, which is the 4-peak design, and the 2 quint, which is the 5-peak design. They look very, very similar, but there is a very slight difference. You can see the peaks on that one here are slightly sharper. These ones are slightly rounded. And if we look again on the 5 peaks, you've got the sharper peaks and the more rounded peaks. I think what we'll do now is we'll look at some of these tools in action. Now, what better lock to demonstrate rakes on than a humble master lock? They have, I think these got 4 pins in them. They don't have security pins, so they should be susceptible to a rake attack. So I'm going to grab one of these tensioners here, and we're looking for a good fit. We don't want it to slip down when we apply tension, and that one seems pretty snug, and it leaves us room at the top of the keyway as we're looking at it to attack those pins with a rake. So we're just going to grab this one here. So I'm going to pulse tension like that. I'm going to scrub my rake in and out. I'm going to try it at this angle, at that angle, circular motion, and all the while just pulsing that tension back and forth. And hopefully we should be able to get this lock open. We'll give him a wiggle. There we go. That one opened straight away. Let's just try that again. Make sure he's locked up. As I say, these 4-pin master locks are generally, susceptible to raking. And it seems like this fella is no exception. So let's do some single pin picking and pick on a lock that's a little bit tougher. So I've got an American 700 padlock. It's got 6. This one's actually got 6 pins in it, and it does have security pins, spools, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to use the top of the keyway tensioner for these. Let's use one of these here. I think probably the thicker one. Yeah, that sits in there quite nicely. And that leaves us the bottom of the keyway as we're looking at it for a hook. And I like a nice sort of deep hook. And we'll choose one of the 23 thousandths hook, I think. Yeah, so that slides in and out there. It doesn't hit any of the pins. So we shouldn't be oversetting anything. So let's see if we can't get this one open. These locks, because they've got serrated pins in them, and you do find that you've got to you get several clicks out of the pins as you're picking it. We just dropped into a little false set there, so now I'm going to look for spools. There we go, counter rotation on the tensioner. I think that was a spool in 2, still not open. Feels like a spool in 4. Oh no, is he open? No, it's not. It's just a deeper full set, so we're looking for one more spool. Oh, there he is, he's in 5. Where is he? Just there. There we go, we got that one open. Next we're going to try picking a Eurolock. This is a 5-pin Iseo with a slightly tighter keyway than the last locks we've looked at. I've got this 3D printed holder, just makes it a little bit more comfortable for picking in hand. And because we've got a tighter keyway, I'm going to use one of these thinner picks, the 0.4 or 15 thousandths. Just gives me room to navigate in that keyway. As I say, which is a lot tighter, certainly than the American 700 I was just picking. A little click down the back there. Might have overset something, so I'm going to start again on this one. That was pin 4. Pin 3 and pin 5, and we just dropped into a slight full set. We've got the counter rotation on pin 1, so that's a spool, still not open. Counter rotation on pin 2. I heard something drop down the back, and there we go, we got that one open. So we've looked at the case, we have looked at the tools, and we've looked at some of those tools in action. What do I think of this set? I think, as with a lot of multi-pick products, it's a really it's certainly really well made. I really like their leather cases. They're fantastic. They will last for years. I don't think they do bad quality tools or bad quality profiles. And I think that Sandman has put together, a really nice advanced lockpick set. You've got the rakes there, you've got plenty of options with the tensioners, and more importantly for me, who veers towards single pin picking as opposed to raking, we've got 9 different profiles of hooks in 2 different thicknesses, which are going to get you into a lot of locks. I think if I really try hard for negatives with a multi-pick pick set, it would just be that for me that's got large hands, their picks are quite small. If I just show you a measurement there, so the handles are 8 centimeters, which is about 3 inches. 3 inches or around about 8 centimeters long, which I'd kind of always prefer a little bit more length, wouldn't we all? But yeah, it certainly makes holding these picks a little bit more difficult. But that said, I do, quite often pick with multi-pick picks, and you kind of get used to them. Now this set retails for £115.63 currently, plus shipping, which is $148.76. Multipick do ship everywhere in the world, and this particular set is going to be in the Black Friday sale, which is coming up. Now that runs from the 29th of November 2024 to the 1st of December 2024. So this set I think will be discounted along with a bunch of their other sets. Now Multipick have kindly given me a 10% discount code for me to pass on to you. I don't get any financial kickback from that, but it will save you 10% on your orders across the shop with Multipick. I don't know if that runs in conjunction with their Black Friday offer, but it's worth trying that code out. You might get 10% off, including the Black Fridays, but if you order at any other time outside of the Black Friday sale, you will get that 10% discount off, which always comes in handy. Thanks to Multipick for sending me this set, and Sandman for putting it together. It's a really nice selection of tools. I'm going to leave a little DMAC logo up in the corner. If you hit that, you get to subscribe. Let me know what you think of this set down in the comments, and of course don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.